All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Custom Crisis Protocol. We are coming in. They have done just a little bit of starting up. We are going to be fighting today on the City on the Edge of Forever of Star Trek fame. They're playing 20 Threat, and it looks like once again we have two classic crises. The Skull infiltrates world leadership, and Infinity Formula goes missing. So it's a pretty iconic setting in sci-fi, one of the most famous original episodes of Star Trek. Also got a little bit of play in Star Trek Discovery. It's also a map that has just a little bit less terrain than most other maps, so it's a little bit open. And again, this is Symbiotes versus the Autobots. And we are just about to get the action started. Symbiotes have one priority, I believe. The Symbiotes are pulling out their separation anxiety deck. The Autobots are having a tough time deciding. So taking a look at the terrain here, we've got the ruins, which is size 2 here, size 1 there, size 2 there, size 1 there, a shuttlecraft, a giant boulder, a small boulder, a large boulder, and a medium boulder at 1, 2, 3, and 4 size. No, 1, 2, 3, and 3. And then the Guardian itself is a size 4. And then, oh yeah, we got a little pillar over here. All right, and it looks like the teams have been chosen. So let's take a first look over here. After everything slowly loads in. All right, that's everything. So it looks like we have Knull as the leader. We have Mercury Team Phage. We have Drax the Destroyer. We have Jeff the Land Shark. And we have Vile, Rogue Reploid. I'm not really sure where Vile comes from, but he has been a popular choice. And then the Autobots, we have, of course, Optimus Prime leading him. We have Ratchet, the healer. We have Ironhide. And then for some splash, we have Zero, Elite Maverick Hunter. And then we also have Prowl, the cop Autobot. Now, I'm actually the person who designed the Autobots, as well as Knull. Interestingly enough, I did not think it made much sense to make them traditional transform characters because they don't really transform into useful things for combat. But some of them do have a transform token feature where they do turn into their car and get abilities. Ratchet, he he gets to go faster, I believe. Yeah, he goes faster, and allied characters gain healing factor 1 within 3 of him. He cannot attack when he has transform tokens, but he can still do his healing stuff. And then Prowl has the ability to turn into his police car, which again he cannot make attacks, but he counts as 2 healthy characters when contesting objectives. So the leadership of Optimus Prime is when an allied character is attacked, they may reroll 1 defense die for each enemy character within 2, and additionally during scoring, 1 injured character may count as healthy for the purpose of contesting objectives. And now lining up here, we've got Ironhide, who, oh, it looks like I made a bit of a mistake at one point, and Ironhide is showing his token on one side instead of the figurine. And then we've got Zero Elite Maverick Hunter here. Drax has lined up in the middle. Knull has lined up on the side. And Mercury Team Phage has lined up on the other side. So when Knull is included in the squad, this leadership has to be used, ignoring normal affiliation rules. Non-affiliated people are going to randomly get a symbiote card after deployment, but the grunts, he gets to choose which one they get. And so, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good choice as a first one. You know, you get a long move and an additional power, which is pretty nice. Now, it is worth noting that when this symbiote gets killed, this card gets discarded. So he will no longer have access to that particular symbiote. So Prowl has lined up with Zero. Oh, apparently that was supposed to be the created symbiotes. Uh, they're having some issues. There we go. So, I mean, just because from the art, it seems like this Vile guy and this guy are the same universe. I don't know, it feels like it looks Mega Man-y to me, but yeah, I just don't know. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you do know who these people are. Oh yeah, and take a moment to like and subscribe to this channel. Maybe join the Discord. There'll be another season coming soon. So Jeff the Land Shark, who has recently gained some popularity from Marvel Rivals, he's been known to be a pretty broken healer. Um, Now again, the point of this season is to help us with balancing. So you very well are going to see things that aren't so balanced. So it looks like he's doing his symbiote draw now. So Jeff the Land Shark now has Agony. So he can reduce damage and he does not suffer damage from collisions. Drax gets Toxic. So he gets an ability to choose an enemy character, and all allied characters roll 1 additional die when targeting him. And he automatically causes poison. And then lastly, Carnage. Carnage, good old-fashioned paint the town red. You know, if you daze their KSOs, he can move and make an attack. and his attacks are now all causing bleed, which isn't really going to do him a lot of good because there's a lot of immunity to bleed over here. But he can make Zero bleed, which means maybe Zero isn't a Mega Man robot. All right, so starting off, Knull gets to choose one card to pretend like he has it himself, and he is choosing Mania. So you got the one additional power, and he'll have a long move. And he's going to start with running up with Drax. And he's just going to grab his scroll. Don't forget scroll shenanigans when you pick them up. Just jumped in with a little reminder about scroll shenanigans. Looks like he rolled 2 crits, so he's good. All right, so Zero Elite Maverick is moving up onto this scroll, even though there's a lot of dangerous looking stuff over here. So he's deciding how he wants to get this scroll agent. I'm not too familiar with Zero here. Looks like he's got a long move, pretty strong builder, a spender with a throw and an advance. He's got a charge. He's got the ability to pay 2 power to make his defense dice 5. And if he suffers no damage from that attack, the attacker suffers 2 damage. That's pretty vicious. And he can change 1 die result to a hit for each wild in the roll. And he has damage reduction to a minimum of 1. He's going to have to climb onto this rock. I do have to admit that a lot of the terrain models that I make are using AI's generation, which is why you get, this kind of funny stuff on it. But overall, I feel it makes a great effect, and it allows me to do, worlds that I would not be able to do with my current abilities. All right, so he accidentally went with Knull a little soon here. Symbiotes are stepping up. Looks like they're going to be attacking Zero. So it's a little hard to see, but the tendril attack is a basic attack, but it has afterwards he rolls 1 dice, and there's a list of effects that happen based off of that die. And it does have to deal damage, though. But it can do things like cause bleed, give null power, deal an additional damage, cause stun, or a little bit of healing. And so Knull ended up picking up a scroll here, making his roll, and then moving back onto the serum canister. Now Ironhide is moving forward in an attempt to grab himself a scroll. He does grab the scroll. So he's retroactively rolling his scroll roll for 0 because he forgot. Looks like he is fine. Now he's going to roll the scroll roll for Ironhide. And he is also good. The scrolls aren't being very effective this game. They're just they're chill about it. And that ends Ironhide's turn. And Mercury Team Phage is now going to move over to the serum canister. Let's just check him out really quick. Looks like he's got a really long range attack that causes bleed. Another long range builder that causes bleed and has pierce. He can spend an action to add a die to his roll and reroll any number of dice on his next attack. So he can use both actions to do a focused attack. And if he dazes someone, you can put in another attack. He's got parting shot tech like Bullseye. And defending characters do not add dice to its defense roll for crits and cannot modify their dice. All right, so Prowl is moving over to the he's gonna make sure he's controlling that serum. So the players are talking about how they haven't really faced either of these teams. So Jeff's gonna do a double move onto the serum, moving to the front side of the serum. Interesting. He's just getting ready to run out there and start his healing bubbles. Jeff can't actually hold or interact with anything objective wise, but he can still secure. All right, he's spending 2 power to deploy his roller. The roller counts as an injured character. So my idea of this is that you have to spend an action. You have to spend an action to get rid of the roller, because the idea is like you had to shoot it. That's what I was going for. I have had people complain about the fact that you can place the roller and then spend 2 to move the roller. I don't know. I feel for power that's an okay thing, but I haven't. This is one of the first times I've seen Optimus Prime played by someone besides me, so it's an exciting opportunity for me to kind of really see what's going on. I recorded a match a couple of days ago with my John Wick character that it'll be releasing right before this video actually, and John Wick did exactly what I had designed him to do, but he may have just done it too well, because he ended up tasing an entire team, and that doesn't sound balanced. But to be fair, there was a lot of luck involved. In 5 attacks, he managed to roll a wild on every single attack with 5 dice. All right, so the roller is now on that serum canister. Oh, all right. So yeah, Vile Rogue Reploid is the last person to go. He's going to do a simple double move to get himself into position for shenanigans next turn, which leaves Ratchet left. Now, as Ratchet as a healer, I would kind of move him to the middle, but it also might just be good to go ahead and put him on the serum container for the power. Rethinking his move a little. I mean, everything's been pretty solidly covered, so he does have a lot of options here. There is something to be said for just avoiding Knull. His range 3 builder is pretty powerful, as well as his beam. But he is an only range 3 character for the most part. So, alright, looks like Ratchet's just going to take a single move up. And with that, we are going to be ending the first round. Looks like it's just going to be a simple 4 to 4. Alright, with that, we go to round 2. Nothing really complicated to do involving the crises. Just a single extra power to those who are near it. I'm really taking a look at people's cards here. Looks like he's got survival, patch up, sacrifice, joint effort, and warpath. Just because the symbiotes happen to not have any custom cards right now. And then on this side, besides the cards that you're familiar with, which would be patch up and recal, it's got field repair, which is a Ratchet specific kind of patch up. Got hot pursuit, which is basically spider tracker. And this now all you need is a little energon and a lot of luck. Um, it's a recalibration matrix for people who have energon cubes. which is the power that gives them an additional power as Autobots. Now, in the redesign of the Autobots, the Energon cubes are actually something that can be dropped if you KO an opponent, and other people can pick them up and gain that power. I am not sure if that change has made it onto all of these Autobots yet. So Drax the Destroyer is moving up, and he's going to hit Ironhide with his Blades attack. So Drax came in with a big hit with 6 dice. The defense has a total of 2 rerolls. He's going to go ahead and do his rerolls. So far, just 1 success. Looks like he is going to do the recalibration. Ooh, he still gets 5 successes. Oh, it went even worse for him with the recalibration. He can't even reduce the damage. So 5 damage coming right in at him. So that was Drax's turn. Moved forward, did a lot of damage in Ironhide. He's unable to throw him because he's size 4. Ratchet's going to go ahead and go and use his Chief Medical Alpha to remove 2 damage from poor Ironhide. Now he's considering what to do with his actions. So Ratchet's got himself a laser scalpel and an arc welder. Laser scalpel being a 2/5 gainer with pierce, and arc welder is being a beam 3/4 with incinerate that costs 1. And then he just does a little bit of a move forward. So now Knull is going. So first his Symbiote's going to step up and see if he can do some damage to Ironhide. Yeah. All right. So looks like he ended up taking 1 damage. Oh, no damage because he has the pay to reduce to 0. So he paid to reduce it to 0. Now Knull's moving forward once and is going to go ahead and do his dark energy manipulation. So this is an 8-die mystic into Ironhide. Not a great roll over here. He ends up with 3 successes, but so far there's only 1 success on the opponent's side. See if Ironhide can convert any of these. Nope. So it looks like he'll be blocking 1, reducing 1, and taking 1. And because he got the... Oh, this was actually just a living abyss manipulation. So he ended up getting the stagger. Ironhide, he's been taking a lot of hits, but he's still standing. So this is an attack into Phage from Prowl. 2 defense for Mercury. 4. And Mercury is also incinerated. All right, a little bit of discussion about whether or not rerolling 2 dice is fair. For Logic Center, it's a valid argument. That is true. The innate should be below the active. It's a card design mistake. So this is the second missile. And it looks like converts 1, so a total of 3 damage. And that is just enough to daze Phage. Now Optimus Prime. Now he's going to fire his acid pellet rifle at the Jeff. So with Jeff, you do not get to count crits as results, and you do not get to add additional dice from them. So it looks like Jeff's going to take 2 damage. And will be rooted, I believe. Yes. And that will end Prowl's activation. Next up will be Vile. Looks like he's firing a serotonal bullet, range 5, strength 5, with an explosive on a wild. And this is at Optimus. Alright, so the explosive damage went off and hit Ratchet and Ironhide. And Ironhide reduced the damage by 1. Now this is a buckshot dance attack. It's got a rapid fire and bleed on wild. Oh, yeah. So a little bit of a misprint on this card. After the attack is resolved, this character gains power early to the damage dealt. So on the second attack, we've got 3 successes so far. So that will end his turn. So I think the land shark is all he's got left. Hellhound is taking a moment to decide here. So Zero the Maverick Hunter is going to move in onto the serum in the back. The tokens decided to be a little funny. This is into Jeff the Land Shark. Oh, a full-on whiff on the attack. Man, that is a bad roll. Jeff's adorableness saves him once again. And with that, it will be Jeff's turn. Alright, so he put a healing bubble down just to heal himself and remove a special condition. And now he's putting in an attack. A little bitey. Hoping to turn this into a success. And he does not. So it looks like he'll take 1 damage from Jeff. Let's see, is that healing bubble in action? Healing bubble is not in action, so Jeff does still have 1 more action. So Jeff decides just to bite him again. Looks like Jeff got 3. Blocks 1. And so he ends up taking 1 damage. So total of 2 damage got into him, and he's bleeding despite his robotic look. Alright, so I'm thinking that's the end of Jeff's turn. So Optimus Prime and Ironhide are still to go on his side, on the Autobot side, while looks like he has finished all his activations on the Symbiote side due to the days on Mercury team. He shakes off the stagger with Ironhide and now looks at his options. He's got a water cannon, which can stun and push away mediums, so it's a pretty big push. And Drax is going to get hit by the water cannon. And it's an auto push medium with a wild stun. One on the defense. 3 or 2 so far. So all that happens is the push and the stun. No vengeance for Drax since no damage got taken. Oh, no, 1 damage did get through. And so Ironhide is now the target of his Driven by Vengeance. And Drax gets shoved back in the line. Alright, so now it's Optimus Prime. Oh, he's going for his big attack here with Optimus Prime. So he's not going to be able to move. So 9 dice. Oh, this is a big stack. So 7 successes to 2 successes so far. So 8 to 2. So just enough to get him in. Kind of limited in his second action here. So now calculate and score. Looks like Symbiotes got 2 and Autobots got 4. There is, by the players did make a small miscalculation here. Optimus Prime can attack Knull because Optimus Prime is size 5, and Knull is size 4. So, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's the models themselves aren't towering like you would expect, like the Sentinels do. But I'm working on that. I've been working on 3D models for our custom characters. So far, Roselad has fallen behind on both points and attrition. Symbiotes are going to open up with Knull. So first the Symbiotes. So Tendrils into Prowl. Got 3 successes on the offense. 1 crit. See if he manages to convert. He does convert. So only 1 success on the attack. And it is blocked. And now it is Knull's turn. Looks like he's hitting him with the dark energy manipulation. So with that, and the sap power took away his ability to take the damage down. So Ironhide will, in fact, be dazed. And it looks like he took advantage of Carnage's card this turn. So he's going to get to go ahead and move and do an attack of 0. So he jumps onto the guardian of the city on the edge of forever. And is going to do a 7-die Mystic into Ratchet. No, into Optimus. Ooh, Knull got a big roll here. Looks like he got 6 successes so far, 7 successes, 3 wilds. So he's going to sap 3 power. He did not get his stagger. And there is a quick pause happening while one of the players talks to someone in real life. So I'm going to take a quick moment to run and grab some water, keep myself hydrated. There we go. Repack the old bong real quick. Give me that energy I need. Keep announcing. If anyone has any suggestions on things I can do better, better camera work, or you want to see the cards more, this is an experiment for me. Never really done this kind of thing before, so any suggestions I am more than open with. The action is back on. It's gonna need a lot of work here to stay alive. So he ends up, he has damage reduction of 2, another controversial choice on my part, but I thought it was okay with a 5 threat with only 7 health. He's now going to throw out his beam. Just barely manages to catch both of them. So another huge hit. And Optimus gets dazed. And now into Ratchet. Wow, 6 hits into 2. Oh, crap. Hey, quick jump in by me. Ironhide is apparently holding a skull. Okay. So yeah, they're having a. Prowl is going to launch some missiles into Phage, try to get the first KO. So 1 damage and Incinerate went into Phage. So now the second missile. Ah, oh, again, the dice are just not being his friend. Ugh, 1 success. Just can't do it. He's getting just the worst dice he could possibly get. So Mercury Team Phage does a double parting shot on Prowl for 4 power and runs away twice. Looks like he's just putting himself right outside of range 4. And now he's firing an acid pellet rifle at the grunts. The grunts is where he decides to go ahead and with a big roll. So a little bit of something for the Autobots at least. And I think there's still a good chance that they're going to end up in the lead at the end of this round. It's just been a real rough round for them. I admit, Knull definitely needs to be reworked. I'm not even sure the concept can work, but it was just such a fun idea, using the separation anxiety deck. He probably should be more like an ultimate encounter, though. All right, so he is doing the anchored aiming nail CV sniper. So it's the 2-action attack. Oof. Another big hit. And Zero gets hit hard. And is dazed. Is this going to be a full daze of the Autobot team? Doesn't look like it. Looks like only one will get through. Hey, all. Zero has a scroll he needs to drop. So yeah, with that, it's just a free table for the symbiotes. So Vile steps up, grabs the scroll, makes his roll. Bunch of lazy scrolls today. Then Drax double moves onto the serum. Jeff's going to go ahead and do hide and seek, where he advances M, counts as size 5, and people cannot react as a result of that move. Barely squeezes in there. And he's going to give a bite and a prowl. So he blocked the first bite. Oof. Jeff's apparently... Looks like Symbiotes are going to score 6 points. 5 points. So... So what will the Autobots do? So Optimus Prime has decided to go for a mobile battle station attack on the Vile Rogue Reploid. Looking to get a little revenge. So it's only 1 on the defense side. Got 5 so far. 6. Looks like that will Looks like Vile will in fact be the first elimination. And so because Knull had chosen the Carnage card that was on Vile this turn, he loses that because that card is no longer in play. Now he's just going to do an Ion Blaster attack onto Knull. And that does 3 damage to Knull and ends Optimus Prime's turn. And so he builds a new symbiote and assigns him Mayhem. He's going to do the same beam. Now the second beam goes into Ratchet. Optimus takes 4. And now Ratchet, see if he can survive this. Oof, that's a big hit. Ah, and a lot of skulls. He gets 2 successes. And that is just enough to take out Ratchet. That's 5. And no successes. Ratchet is eliminated. Now he's doing a 7-die Mystic Living Abyss manipulation into Prime. Not a very good roll, though. Looks like he blocks it all, but does get sapped 1 power. And that is the end of the chaos known as Knull. That is still at least worth mentioning. He is an 8 threat, so it's not like he's not supposed to do stuff. Autobots are going to go with 0. He's looking like he's going to try to take out Mercury Team Phage here. Pretty good chance of taking him out. Looks like 1 on this side for the defense. Looks like Phage is in fact dead. Let's just change the camera angle here and look from this side. I always play from that side, so it's just my natural tendency to look from that side. But, you know. So 0 picks up the token. Does not move. Pretty sure someone gave all the scrolls a bunch of really good pot, because they have just not been wiggling. And so I believe 0 still has another action. I don't really know what he could do with it. I mean, where he's at right now, he gets to score 2 points. Unless the land shark comes and messes with him. But it looks like he is considering it. So now Drax is going. All right, so Jeff is going. He's biting Prowl. Looks like 2 on both sides. Second bite into Prowl. 2 successes on the attack so far with a crit. Looks like it's 2-2. So Jeff just kind of. Jeff apparently forgot his teeth today because he is just not getting through. Or biting at the ankles of these Autobots just isn't cutting it for him. I mean, Prowl is definitely going to be blasting Jeff at some point. Yeah, looks like doing it right now. Looks like Jeff's going to get hit by the missiles. So no crits, but this is 2 big missiles. So he uses agony to reduce it by 1, takes 1. Jeff does get incinerated. And it still has another missile coming in at him. Two successes, just about as good as Jeff can get with that incinerate. Oof. Not a great roll. Converts 1. And he's managing to reduce the other damage to not take any. So he's still got another action. Probably would have been good to actually do this acid pellet shot first for the chance at the root. So Drax just does a simple move and shake so he can keep scoring those 2 points. And so it looks like all that's left this turn is Ironhide. So Ironhide is all that's left. If it was me, I think I would just not try to go after Knull at this point. I mean, it's too late in the turn. I would go after the land shark if it was me. They can't actually see my hand, so yeah, go here. Attack Jeff. Or he could also just go do the easy grab of the scroll agent. That wouldn't be too horrible a plan. This is an interesting choice. Oh, looks like he wants to try to take out another symbiote. All right, so that will end the round. Didn't he score 4? He's got 2 points and 2 scrolls. Oh, one scroll. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right. So they're discussing. It looks like it all comes down to Optimus Prime here. He's feeling pretty confident if Optimus falls, it all falls. Knull chooses Toxin this round. So it looks like he's opening with Knull. He's going to go ahead and use the Swarm Pheromones on Optimus Prime. And then he's going to do a Living Abyss manipulation. We're going to assume it's going to be a Mystic. Looks like 4 on the offense, only 1 on the defense so far. Optimus takes 1. So he's still hanging in there. And he's going to just try it again. Can Optimus hang on? Not the worst attack ever. Only 3 successes, so I think he will survive. Oh, big turn. He blocks it all. And now it looks like, oh, he's going to... He's throwing the Guardian at Optimus Prime. Looks like he still may survive this with his damage reduction. Looks like he's just going to take 1 damage and just barely make it there. And one of the most iconic set pieces in all of Star Trek got destroyed for it. That doesn't seem right. So Optimus does stand and has some power to play with. Now, if he can actually daze Drax here, that could be a pretty big move. He's doing a little bit of math here to figure out his best route. I like to see the lack of give up, though. You know, some players, when in this kind of situation, they're just like, it's over. I like to see a player go for it. These kind of comeback victories are the satisfying ones. If he's within range 4, it means he could do both the Ion Blaster and the mobile battle station to possibly get a stagger there, assuming that's not enough just to take Drax down. But Drax is pretty hard-headed. A lot of math being done here. Optimus really wants to make the most of his turn. So yeah, it looks like the dropping Energon Cube tech did get into at least Ironhide and Optimus Prime here. Well, let's just see what happens here. It's like right now, I really wish I had range tools. Like I just want to know if you're within range 4 of Drax. He's definitely within range of that. Problem with mobile battle station is means you can't move that turn. So Optimus has decided that to go ahead and go for the scroll. It's understandable. Problem is that I don't know what he does about Drax now. Maybe Zero can get over there? I mean, Zero does have a long move, and he also does have a charge, so maybe that is the solution. That's got to be what he's thinking. Pushes him into the ruins. And runs away. Remember that classic episode of Transformers where Optimus Prime ran away from the action and left Ironhide by himself? So he spends an action to get rid of the roller. So currently, I think Hellhound just did some math and realized he did in fact need to attack Drax. What is he doing right now? Oh, wow. So he just gave Swarm Pheromone to the entire team. So he desperately needs to take out Drax somehow. Alright, so Prowl is attacking the land shark. Oh, it's a big hit on the shark. So he manages to keep it just shy of taking him out with a heal. Reduce damage from agony. So now he's hitting 2 missiles into Jeff. he wants he wants to really make sure Jeff is done. And with no successes in defense, that is enough to daze him. So I mean, it just comes down to this: if Zero slash Ironhide, I mean, Zero's got a long move and a charge, so I think he can get an attack in. And then Ironhide, I mean, he's got a He's got range 3 stuff, so I mean he's gonna have to move and attack and just hope for the best. So it looks like so he's decided to have Ironhide move and put an attack into Ironhide or into. Don't forget to choose the special effect for the water gun. You pick it before you roll. Yeah, during the it's the very first step. So it looks like 4 successes to 1. So he takes 2 damage and is incinerated. And so I guess it's coming down to this. He does a long move, and then a charge. And that character gets to advance S. So it all comes down to this roll. It's a decent roll. But he got his trigger. Um, didn't you get your trigger on Speed Slash? Oh, you're right. Wait, what about the wild? Don't you get to turn a wild into a hit? You know, a blank into a hit? Yeah. So yeah, that may have been a little unfair on my part, but you know, for the sense of a good match. And so there will be one final round. All right, so Knull is choosing Toxin on this final round. So he picks up the scroll. He does get pushed. They're finally waking up. He waited till the 6th round. I think there's been 2 pushes the entire game. And then for Drax's second action, he just goes back to the point. So Swarm Pheromones are going on to 2 more characters, marked by the Symbiote token. Prowl is just realizing that he can turn into a police car with Prowl and count as 2 healthy people. So yeah, the Autobots are planning everything out carefully. They have a numbers advantage, but the Symbiotes have a Knull advantage. Fortunately, Knull's only got 1 power, so it's just going to be some basic stuff, but Knull's Knull. That's some displacement. He's thinking about the water cannon on Ironhide. quick mental note to me, consider making Ironhide's wire water cannon make them drop an objective if it pushes them into terrain. Ironhide's thinking. So it looks like he's starting with Ironhide. Alright, so he's gonna hit Knull with the water gun. He's using acid in this one. So the target character will gain the root. And then Ironhide moves on to the objective to end Ironhide's turn. So he's going with Knull. Knull's going to have to do at least one move to get in the range of anybody. And it looks like he's going to go after an objective. I definitely think there's some plays here. For instance, Optimus Prime is now pretty safe to move up to this point. He could then send a roller over here to team up even up there, and then turn into a police car and win this objective there. Oh, you didn't see that one, so he's just going for that. Jeff the Land Shark got no successes. 3 successes so far. And that's 3 damage into him. And then he reduces it by 1. And now he's incinerated for the second missile. Ooh, but not a very good roll. See if he can make up for it on the reroll. So nothing goes through there after the damage reduction from his symbiote card. He's going to hit him with the acid pellet rifle. Hoping for a big spike here. He needs to get 4 damage to get through. That does not look like 4 damage. That's just another 1 that he gets to deduct. And so all he has left is the land shark. And he's got, we've got Optimus Prime and a Zero on this side. Oh, and the shark suddenly finds his teeth with 5 hits. And no successes. Takes 3 damage from that bite. And now he gets to push him away small. And then he shakes the incinerate. So I still think he might be able to win here if he remembers his roller. So it looks like they've ended up tying at 18. He does not realize the roller play. So we're going to go to round 7. Yep, nope. If there is a tiebreaker here, it goes another round if you guys don't tie. Can I mention something that will upset one of you? No, but Optimus Prime can place his roller and move his roller in the same turn. Yeah, it's not a limit of once per turn on that action. So you could have taken your roller and moved it over here to take this point, if you'd realize. But yep, you go to round 7. So Knull will go into this round as Toxin. So he's opening up with Drax. So this is 8-die physical into Ironhide. Well, so funny enough, Ratchet, the one person who has been eliminated with an energy cube, is the only one who does not have the updated rules for dropping said energon cube. So Ironhide ends up taking 2 from that attack. Drax should still have another action. So he's just going to hit him with another Blades, now without a Vengeance token. Doesn't look like a very good roll. Looks like no damage. Looks like... So he's throwing the size 2 boulder at Ironhide. So he ends up taking 1 damage after blocking 1 and reducing the damage by 1. And that's going to end Drax's turn. So now the Autobots are trying to figure out. He's going with 0. I think he wants to finally get that shark off the board. He's going to speed slash into Jeff. Just needs to get 1 more point of damage on the shark. But yeah, he got his crit hit. He's going to hopefully get 1 point of damage on Jeff here. Zero's just going to be using a Z-Saber, a 6-die attack. That looks like a pretty good hit. And with that, it's looking like that was going to be enough to take out the symbiotes. So he's pretty sure it's over, but he's just going to see what he can do. Oh, and Knull chooses to pass. So Optimus Prime is going to do his mobile battle station attack into Drax. No successes from Drax. So that's 4 damage into Drax for the first attack. All right, so good old Ion Blaster now. 5-die energy. Possible shock. That's not very relevant at this point. Oh, not a very good roll. He's playing a reroll card. But that leaves him with just 1 health remaining. All right, so just comes down to this last attack for Knull. I think this is more for pride than anything. Oh, looks like he is gonna get his satisfaction at least.
I thought you had it. I'm gonna be real with you. I was in that mindset. I thought you
I
had
thought
it.
that I had that.
And then fucking
But
Star
then-
comes in and
but
is like,
then-
by the way, Zero has that ability. And I'm like, oh shit, you're right.
I was like, no.
It was an
You're supposed-
great game, though, guys. I mean, that was a very entertaining
It was
match.
It was a
extremely
good
fun.
game. Holy shit.
Give me a quick sec. But last time I checked, this is supposed to be you.
That's fair. That's fair. I do apologize for it.
No, it's completely fine. It's definitely what it's what needed. It's what definitely should have.
So I actually forget which one of you was playing. Skull Ghost was guaranteed, and Rose Lad needed to win to get to the semifinals, right?
Rose needed the win to get to the semi.
Yeah.
I think.
So, well, congratulations. You both end up in the semis.
Rose, I'm giving you a hug.
I gotta admit, this is kind of a tough one for me to watch because all the broken characters I made, and so it's a little hard to hear the passion, but I completely understand.
I mean, you made the Knull?
I made Knull. I made the Autobots.
All right.
There's
okay.
the hug in the chat.
Alright, so the big thing with Knull is that he doesn't need the extra he doesn't need the extra damage on the beam.
Yeah.
Nor does his healing factor need to be 3.
Yeah, I agree, and those are changes that are going to be made.
Aside from that, I know some people don't like how the symbiotes are chosen. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's random, right?
It's random except for the grunts, which are guaranteed.
I mean,
Which
that
one we
makes
get?
sense because, like, if
Yeah.
it wasn't random, it would just make you would just be able to put the best symbiote with the best character. That'd be kind of broken.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
would be insane.
It was
And
really
only-
broken when that was the way it was done.
And yeah, no, but no, like how it is, and then choosing on the grunt still is still good. I like it. It gives Knull a little bit more consistency,
Mm-hmm.
which as an 8 threat, I feel like he definitely needs. Let's see. There's a couple places where I could see that the innate powers should be below the.
Yeah, I heard you mention that. Yeah, there are some
Yeah.
cards. Like when I do a pass over, I made a note about Prowl's Logic Center needing to get moved.
Yeah, Knulls needs to be at the bottom.
But it was kind of funny, like, there was a change made to Autobots to where the Energon Cube is supposed to be dropped when they're KO'd. And,
But that never came up.
because
It
the
never-
one character that you KO'd that had an Energon Cube doesn't have that update. Like, all the other
Oh,
Energon
Ironheart.
Cubes drop, but Ratchet
Oh
doesn't
no,
have.
Ratchet does have an Energon cube. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
Wait,
he
no,
doesn't have the wording to drop it, so. By the strictest of
Oh.
rules, he didn't drop the Energon Cube, so. That's another
I
note
don't
that
think
I've
that
made, is
would've
I need to
done
fix
anything,
him.
But
No, it would have
I don't-
allowed someone to get an extra power, basically. if they
Yeah.
picked it up.
yeah, oh jeez. Because I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think I couldn't have done anything there.
I will say this: you probably should have kept Val in the back, if I'm being honest. I made a lot of mistakes. I forgot stuff in my
You
character.
see, I was purely going so I could get more points. That's the thing. 'Cause
I know, but
Milton-
like, I feel like you should have kept Vale behind because that's what made you lose Carnage, and
Yes, but that also got me the points needed to tie in the first place.
that's fair. I make a point for Transformers. Optimus, I didn't realize you could move Roller. I thought he was just place Roller down and that's it. He seems okay. Mobile battle station, pretty high damage. He can't move.
I think he's solid.
He's solid.
I-
I had someone tell me
Maybe
he's
range
powerful.
2 on the inspirational leader, just because of how all the others, and especially with a large base, that's an insane.
That's fair.
That's
That's a fair point.
Insane diameter.
Yeah.
Fair point. Ratchet, he's just healing the team. That was his job.
He doesn't seem bad. It's just I killed him really easily.
Yeah, that's kind of a.
Yeah, he
not
doesn't
really
do
fair.
very well on the front line.
Yeah. Ironhide, the van storage needs to be 1 lower. But like, and that never came up, but it could have definitely. The DR is nice. And the special conditions are very nice to have.
You
Yeah.
Give me some inspiration reminder with something.
You can if he double hits you, can get staggered, which is insane.
So, do either of you know what the Zero character is from?
I have no
Mega Man
idea.
X. Yeah, Mega Man
I know.
X.
Oh wait,
haven't
no, I
played
don't
the
know who
games
made
too
him.
much.
I know it's from Mega Man.
Oh,
but I
okay.
don't know
It had a Mega
who
Man
made him.
look to him.
Yeah,
And is
Yeah.
Vile Reptoid also a Mega Man thing?
that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
He yeah. Oh yeah. I think he's also from X. Yeah. I haven't played those games much, so.
No.
But I
Yeah.
do love the fact that he's literally just Winter Soldier, but with a slight past Winter Soldier, but with a slightly different spender.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And then we get to
And-
Ratchet, who I will, and get to Prowl, who
oh,
I'll
he
say
removes-
that
on his
that
injured side, he removes the Spetsnaz training for a spender. Beam 5. So he's Iron Man and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's what you get when you combine those two, you get a Mega Man character.
I mean, he's not wrong. If
Yeah.
we're being real here.
But yeah, twin thermal missiles really did a lot of work for you. Like,
Okay. Make a point. Oh yeah, make a point for Prowl here. I will argue. Maybe re-rolling 2 dice for everything is a bit broken, if I'm being honest.
Oh, extremely.
yeah, I'm
So,
willing
I
to
mean-
make that change.
That might be a bit
Yeah,
broken.
I did it for the defense because it's instead of the DR that most of the other rest of the faction gets, and it makes it slightly different. I don't get why on the attack, though, because like it. I would argue you could make it a because he has not a lot else to spend energy on. I could reckon you could even make it like a Psylocke or uh or one of those types of rerolls
Oh yeah,
where it's spend up to 3 to get 3 to get
that makes
most of your
sense.
energy.
Yeah, maybe I'll try something like that. There's definitely a
Yeah.
pass that's going to be made on the Transformers. Like I'm
Yeah.
overall pretty happy with how they work, but there's a couple of little points,
I think, yeah. But then looking at his team, I think all of his guys did well. Of course, you do have Jeff, Drax. I have Jeff the Land Shark. Damn you. You haunt my nightmares. Okay. But I thought Vale's interesting. I have him in my list. I have Vale in my list for this group. So I thought he was interesting. Definitely did a few things. I'm not gonna lie, seeing Prague, seeing that being able to do a super really accurate shot was scary. It's kind of why I was targeting him down, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah, that anchored aim Navy sniper shot's pretty rough.
Yeah, but
And
if it is 2 actions to
Yeah.
do it, I feel like it's fair.
That's
Like,
fair.
you do have to spend like your entire activation doing that single shot, and then you might get one extra attack if you you're. I think it's fine.
Yeah, again, it was a really entertaining game, and thanks for participating in my announcing experiment here. I'll be
I'm
editing
really
this
excited
thing
to
up
see.
tomorrow.
We're gonna get
I'm really
criticized
excited to
so
see how this
fucking
goes.
hardly. We're gonna get criticized so damn hardly. You wait.
Oh, yeah,
you're
it was
gonna
funny.
get criticized by like the 3 viewers. No, I'm gonna find it because I can probably get the. I'm on the HPP House Party Protocol Discord. I can probably get this out onto there,
Cool.
so I can see what I can do.
Yeah, I appreciate anything that helps just get the word out that we're having fun with custom characters over here.
Oh yeah, especially once I fully get all of my things submitted into the website.
Yeah.
I'm still working on my Ruby characters. So far, I have
Yeah.
2. I'm
I
having a bit of
really
trouble with leadership, though. That's a hard
yeah
thing to make.
the only thing that I'm just going to need to probably uh need a little bit of intrigue on is like how I would do both the 2 grunts of the 2 grunts of Kulex and the extra spark deck for the
Yeah, those on those occasions that the website's just not going to be able to handle things. That's when you still submit the card the old-fashioned way, and I just do it by hand.
Thankfully, all of them are in the submit channel at least.
Yeah,
So,
and I really appreciate you doing that because that's really helped me test the website.
oh yeah, I need to continue with it, but
Cool.
I have yeah.
Yeah, as of right now, it works great for characters that don't have grunt or transform. So just focus on those characters. I'm hoping to get grunt and transform working correctly by the end of the week. But the project's getting a little hard to work on.
Yeah.
But I am past my dinner time, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you once again, and I look forward to editing it and getting it out there.
I'm gonna be real with you, Rose.
I'm
I'm gonna be real.
excited.
I was gonna give you. I was thinking about giving you the win when you knocked out 3 of my guys. I was like, yep.
Yeah.
This is deja vu. It's John Wick all over again.
But I tell you, I mean,
fucking gun.
those kind of comebacks are the most satisfying part of this game, in my opinion.
All right.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Have fun.
Peace.
Thank you for playing, Rose. Oh, there he goes.